Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Start of 2024, start of January 2024. It's a brand new month, it's a brand new year. It's time for a brand new set of pens and used pens. So, as previous years, my theme for this month are the winning pens from last year. So, all of the pens, they won one of my pens in use months from 2023. Join me now. Let's take a look. What pens did I pick? What inks did I put in them? We'll do a little bit of a writing sample. Then we'll pop them away into their pen case, ready for use this month. Before we jump down to the table, let's just take a quick look at the winning pens from 2023. January, the theme was 2022 winners, and that was won by the Pilot Custom 823. February, a Use Me Up month, and won by the Opus 88 Koloro. March, it was Marvel Superheroes, that was won by the Ranga Model 5. April, Good Value Pens, won by the Jinhao 100 Centennial. May, Use Me Up, it was the Pilot E95S. June, You Paid How Much? Won by the Pilot Custom 823. July, Christmas in July, Pilot E95S. August, Use Me Up, that was the Pelikan M205. September, that was Star Trek month, and it was won by the HongDian N8. October, Chinese pens, won by the Majohn or Moonman M800. November, another Use Me Up month, won by the Leonardo Ferrari. And then December, previous Inkvent inks, and that was won by the Ranga Santa. So they were the winners from last year. Which pen have I chosen though from these? So I needed to pick 6 pens. I'm going to fetch them out in price order. The first pen, that was April's winner, and that was the Jinhao 100 Centennial. I've decided to use the Meteorite version. I've got about 5 of these. So if this runs out of ink, I may fill a different one so we can actually explore a couple of pens. Unusual pattern. I mean, yes, it looks cheap. The pen is cheap. It's not an expensive pen. Cartridge converter, there we go. Metal fittings. Yeah, it looks like a Parker Duofold. I'm not going to say it's a clone, but it's definitely very heavily inspired by that. Number 6 nib. This one is not the nib that came with it. It's not even a Jinhao nib. This is a Kiwi Pens medium cursive italic nib. I'm still getting used to this nib, so I'm still playing around and learning it. Let's do some writing. So we've got here a Jinhao. You can see there I catched a little bit. Jinhao 100 Centennial. I think I've spelled that wrong, but we know what it means. It's got a cursive italic. Price-wise, it was 25 Aussie dollars. The ink, this is by Herbin, and it's Terre. And make sure I write this correctly, F-E-U. I keep wanting to put F-U-E. Drying times, so there's immediate, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. There, 30 seconds. This one's dry, so fast drying ink. Now, I will say, drying times at the moment may not be 100% the same as what you see around the world. It's very hot here in Australia. At the moment, I'm recording this, and the current temperature is 23 Celsius. But that's after a couple of days where it was nearly 35 Celsius. So just be aware, drying times may be a little bit out because it is warm. But this is the Jinhao 100 Centennial. Looking forward to playing with this nib, getting to know the nib, getting to know its nuances. I may need to work on the nib a bit, not sure. We'll see how it goes through the month. But yeah, going to be interesting with this one. Pen number 2. Very similar in terms of body shape. Some little differences. But I've decided to go with the pen from September, which is the HongDian N8. This is in the white flying feathers. Love this like silver. I want to say it's like printed on, this silver colour. Feels like it's slightly raised, which is why I think it's printed on. Very nice pen, slightly translucent there in the body. Cartridge converter. Not too much ink in here. I'm expecting this to run out. Depending when it runs out, I may either refill it or swap it for another of the winning pens. Just not sure yet. Nice number 6 size nib. This is the nib it came with. This is the HongDian nib. Very nice pen, nice size. Section is a nice size as well. Very comfortable to use this. So this is the HongDian N8. And it's got a medium nib. Price wise, slightly higher, 42 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Colorverse and it's Hubble. I don't have many Colorverse inks, they're quite expensive, so I've only been using samples. This is the last of my sample of Hubble. Just love the colouring. I like Hubble, Colorverse inks to me, they seem to be quite unusual most of the time. Drying times, so we got immediate. Nice red coming off that, isn't it? 10 seconds. Looks like it's virtually dry already. 30 seconds. And 30 seconds there. Yeah, this is another one. It's dry. Remember, bear in mind my comments about the temperature. So this is the HongDian N8 with Colorverse Hubble. The next pen. Well, I thought I want to have 3 pens under $100. So my option was, let's go for October's winning pen, which is the Majohn M800. One of my favourite pens, this M800 series. I've got all 4 colours. What I've been doing is playing around a bit with the nib. So the nib on here isn't the nib that it came with. Very much like a Leonardo Memento Zero, isn't it? You know, it's so highly inspired. I don't want to call it a clone, but very, very highly inspired. Cartridge converter, metal fittings. Love the colouring on this. I say I've got all 4 colours and all 4 of them look so nice. The nib on here, this is a Yoho nib. It was actually from Goulet Pens. It's a broad nib. Gold coloured, but it's steel. Then we've got the feed there. I love this section. I really do. It's a shame that Leonardo have moved away from this section style because I really like it. Very personal choice. In my testing, I do find that this nib dries out very quickly when it's not being used. So a few shakes like this is usually enough to get the ink flowing. And once it's flowing, absolutely no problems. But we'll see how I go through the month with it. So we've got here a Majohn M800. It's got a broad nib. Price wise, this was 66 Aussie dollars. You've got to then add on about another $15 for the nib, but the actual pen with the Moonman nib that it came with was 66 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Lamy. It's part of the Crystal series, and it's Peridot. Beautiful green colour. Drying times, so there's immediate. 10 seconds. This one, dry after 10 seconds. Again, I know I've said it multiple times. Temperature does have a lot to do with it. Beautiful pen, beautiful looking pen. I want to see how I go through the month with this drying. I may try a different ink when this runs out. Although it's a fairly full fill. Again, this is the last of a sample. So that's the Majohn or Moonman M800. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. We're now looking at pens over 100 Aussie dollars. Pen number 4. This was the winning pen from February, which was a Use Me Up month. This is the Opus 88 Koloro in blue and teal. So we've got blue ebonite and teal plastic. Japanese eyedropper pen. So what you do is you unscrew the section and then carefully you drip ink into the body until it's full. Very nice way of working. We've got here, this is like a blind cap. If I screw it down, I know you can't actually see. There is a metal stick. I know it's not a very descriptive word. It's the only one I can think of at the moment. Going down, and there's a little tiny like plunger seal on the bottom. So it seals off the section from the body. What I do, because I'm at home at the moment, I just leave this open. If I'm going out anywhere and taking this, I'll close it down, just in case there's an issue so I don't lose the entire body worth of ink. But to write with it, make sure you unscrew it so you've got the ink flow going. Nice section there. Feels quite nice. Small looking nib. I believe the nib's made by Yoho. I think it's a number 5. Might be a 5.5. Doesn't really matter how big it is. It's how it writes though, isn't it? And I love writing with this pen. So we've got here an Opus 88 Koloro. It's got a broad nib on it. Price-wise, we're taking a big jump, 146 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Robert Oster. And it's Tranquility. Beautiful shading ink, this. Drying time, so immediate. 10 seconds. Nearly dry. I'm going to go for 30 seconds. Dry. Would expect that though, wouldn't we? So this is the Opus 88 Koloro. Move this up ever so slightly again. Pen number 5. Well, this is the winning pen from August. This is the Pelikan M205. This is a steel nibbed version of the Pelikans. You can get, I believe it's the exact same body, but with a gold nib, and then it's called the 405. But this is the 205. This is steel nibbed. Beautiful, beautiful colour in there, this blue. Very, very nice. It's a fairly small pen. Not quite a pocket pen, but heading towards that. The cap doesn't take a lot to uncap. That was just over half a turn. Now, although it looks black, it's very, very dark, but this is slightly transparent. It's meant to be so you can see the ink level. Just too dark for me. It's of absolute no use, but at least the thought's there, isn't it? Would have been nice if that was completely transparent. Then it would have been extremely useful. But it would have spoilt the design, wouldn't it? So I can understand why they've done that. Piston filling pen. That's why this ink window is really important. Because the way it is, it just means I really don't have an idea what my ink level is. Section is a bit small and a bit thin, but I say it's a small pen all in all. See there, unposted, very small. It will post, posts very nicely. When it's posted, it's a nice pen, it's not back heavy. This is how I tend to use this pen posted. One of the few pens that I do post. Here we've got there the Pelikan nib, steel version of it. Writes really well. Doesn't matter if it's gold or steel, does it? What matters is, does it write for you? And this writes so well, it's so nice. So here we've got a Pelikan M205. Broad nib. The feedback on this is very different than all the other pens I've used. There's more audible feedback, and it's actually a bit more tactile as well, which is very, very nice. Price-wise, 199 Aussie dollars. The ink is by a company called Pure Pens. This is a Welsh company, and it's called Celtic Sea or Celtic Sea. Beautiful, like dark teal colour. See plenty of shading coming through in this pen. Drying time, so we go immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds again, that's dry. Now, on that last hash mat there, I see a little teeny tiny bit of feathering. Don't really see it on the rest of it, so that's something I'll look for during the month. I wonder if that comes out in any of the other writing. Again, I know I've said it multiple times, be aware of the weather. It does make a difference. So this is the Pelikan M205. My final pen of the day. Big, massive jump in price. I'm going for the pen that won in January. I'm not counting that because that was looking at the winners of the previous year, but also won in June. So this is the Pilot Custom 823. Love this pen, I really do. It's such a nice pen. Very expensive though. Just looking at this is in the transparent brown colour. Vacuum filling pen. So there's a rod. That's the word I was looking for earlier on when I said stick. It's a rod that runs down the middle. So not going to work it. You would unscrew this, pull the rod out, push it down, which pushes a plunger down in here, creating a vacuum. Down near the bottom, the inside of the barrel widens a bit. That releases the vacuum and sucks the ink in. This is similar to the Opus 88 Koloro. There is a seal, so I always keep this open when I'm at home. Not sure if we'll be able to see it working. There's the, let me just screw this all the way down. So hopefully you can see this in the barrel. Let me get this into focus. So if we're trying to focus here, as I unscrew this, you can see that plunger slightly coming up, releasing that seal into the section so ink can flow through. Slightly transparent, very pretty. Nice wide section, feels very nice in the hand. 14 karat gold nib. It's a Pilot number 15 nib. Beautiful nib, very nice to write with. Here we've got the feed. I believe the feed's plastic. It's a shame, it would have been nice, the amount that you're paying would be nice to have an ebonite feed. But it doesn't matter because it writes so well. So this is the Pilot Custom 823 broad nibbed. I hope you're holding on to your socks. This is a massive 521 Aussie dollars. Very expensive, not a cheap pen. The ink is by Dominant Industry, which is a Korean company. I believe it's South Korea. And it's called Lungo. Beautiful brown ink. Loads of shading coming through this. Drying times. So here goes immediate. 10 seconds. Look, it looks a lot wetter, doesn't it? I'm going to go on to the next line because it looks so wet. 30 seconds. Still wet there. For the first time this month. 1 minute. After a minute there, now it's dry. So this is the Pilot Custom 823. Just to swap over the view, and I'm going to fetch all the pens back in for one final look. So before I fetch the pens in, here's the pen roll that I'm going to be using this month. My wife's made this for me. This is a Spider-Man one. Got a slight difference in the design, which we're just working on the design, so hopefully when it rolls up this will look a bit neater. So let's load this up. So the first pen is the Jinhao 100 Centennial. In it goes to its slot. This first slot is deliberately wider, so it can handle pens like the Ranga Model 5, which are very, very big. Pen number 2, the HongDian N8. Pen number 3, the Majohn M800. Pen number 4, the Opus 88 Koloro. Pen 5, the Pelikan M205. Then the final pen, the Pilot Custom 823. I've got a little bit of room in here for a couple more pens. I'll put in my Lamy AL Star. This is a pen I use for writing titles with. So I've still got that one slot. So it takes 8 pens. Gonna fold the top over and let's roll this up. And then tie it up, ready for use this month. There we go. So these are the pens I'm going to be using during January of 2024. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. What are your thoughts on my selection for this month? What's your selection? How did you pick them? Or do you just use pens that you like to use? Please drop a comment down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.